Hi, my name is Terry, and today we'll be talking about HumMod. This video is intended to be an instruction on how to get introduced and how to start using Tom Coleman's HumMod. So let's go ahead and get started. Here I have my browser open with the HumMod UTSC CPG version link on it for GitHub. Now, this video is not going to cover GitHub usage. What I'll simply explain to you is that HumMod is a Windows application only. And in order for it to be used in Macintosh or Linux environments, you will have to emulate Windows. So here we have releases, and we can go ahead and download the source code zip. Even though there's a TarGZ available, it is still a strictly Windows application. Once you download this application, you'll be able to open the zip file, zip archive, which you can see right here. But you have to make sure that you actually extract it rather than using it within the archive itself because you'll get an error. So once extracted, here I have it in my documents, you'll be able to access the files here in this folder. Now there's going to be multiple files here and some folders. This is not completely extracted yet, which can be shown here through my dialog. But you'll see multiple files and folders. These account for the actual model files written in the XML language and the executables, which are programmed in C sharp. We do not have the access to the back end or the actual source code for these executables, but it is designed for us to be able to access the actual model files with the XML code. Once fully extracted, you have to double click and run your HumMod executable. There are other files here available, such as Model Navigator, Solver, and the editor, which we're not going to use. When double clicking it, you'll see the gray HumMod window and the actual display panels. This large area is called the panel, and it can contain different information that is located through these different drop-down menus. The bottom horizontal bar here with left and right arrows can help you cycle through open panels. This is the model panel, allows you to interact with the model, and these are defined within the actual XML code, while the top bar is the file menu, and it does have some important features, such as the simulation control, which gives you the timelines. You have to remember HumMod is in minutes, or 1440 minutes in one day. So to go ahead, I'll show you how to run a simulation now. The first step of running a simulation is that you have to scale the model. In this version of HumMod, it's under the participants dropdown. Usually it is under contacts. So we're going to set the sex, male, ethnicity, which is a UTSC version edition, age, height, adiposity, and muscularity. I'm just going to leave everything as the standard. You'll want to run this for 1 week in order to stabilize the model. Now here I am located in a different display panel, and the standard go-to is the diagnosis chart. However, there's many more options here. So here looking at the diagnosis, we have our status with the scaling and our vital signs. The time is found here in the corner, and the actual panel name is found here. So far, all that has happened is that I have selected the type of the participant without changing any external parameters, such as the environment or diet, etc. And I ran it for 1 week of time to stabilize the model. Now, as I mentioned, we want to save the initial conditions. It is critical to remember that when you're saving this file, if you'd save it without the extension .ics, it will not be recognized. I'm going to go ahead and save as participant one. You'll have to do this for every single participant that you'll be creating. Now, once you have the model stabilized for 1 week, Let's take a look what else can be done. Lifestyle menu offers different affecting the model externally. For example, the environment, the diet. Some of these things will be preset to a standard value, and some of these things you can change. For example, changing the gas, so going to lifestyle, air supply, you can turn on the gas tanks. You'll have to use these switches and these slider bars. And I would recommend exploring all these drop-down menus to see what there is available. Now, just because the variable exists does not necessarily mean that it is connected to anything. It could be just functioning on its own as a differential equation, for example, but it may not be affected by any other variables.